live. It's not copyrighted music if I'm just singing to myself.
I will tell you what, if we do not start the stream now by releasing the page cut,
oh my god,
I'm leaving.
Here we go.
No, I'm serious. Release it.
The pagey cut doesn't exist. It's a myth. It's a
Release
myth.
it. Warner Brothers. Release it.
Oh geez. Hello everybody. Welcome to the hashtag after party. We've got two shows we can discuss. I've seen both of them. Paigey has not seen Legends, but I'll be glad to answer questions about Legends if you guys want to talk them out there. We have Stargirl. We're going to talk about Stargirl tonight. We're going to talk about the Snyder Cut. We're going to talk about the Ayer cut.
The Trank cut.
Yeah, the Trank. Why not? We'll talk about all the cuts. So if you're watching this on playback, there's going to be spoilers. Just so you know, we're going to talk spoilers and all that, and maybe some Twitter drama with actors. I don't know. We'll figure something out here. Paigey is joining me tonight, as you can see. The banana himself. Hashtag release the Paigey cut. Yeah.
Just the banana himself. That's a bit discriminatory. I know you're a bit edgy there.
You're just a vlogger, okay?
I know. Robert Storms is your doppelganger. Don't fall into that cesspool of YouTube.
What is it, like the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse?
This is not just a banana. This is an elite gaming banana.
Okay,
please respect it.
I'm sorry. Put some respect on your name. I'm sorry.
Respect on the peel. Respect on the peel.
So, you guys, you know what you can do. Super chat for questions. We're going to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, everything in between. And we have a super chat from Victor D. Chinchilla, who super chatted we hadn't even started yet. It's a $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much, Victor, for supporting the channel. And his question is, could we see any of the Arrowverse shows move to HBO Max since they could have a bigger budget? That is a good question. I don't think they'd move to HBO Max. They may do something like what Batwoman is doing, like a partnership, like Batwoman and Doom Patrol. I don't think, moving a show entirely to that service is probably not a good idea for them, for the Arrowverse. What do you think, Paigey? Any thoughts?
Yeah, I've seen people say this, and like I'd assume, like, if you just got to think about it for a second, because the reason the Arrowverse is so popular is because of its access. It's on a free channel, and then it's able to actually go to multiple channels, and it's not really attached to a streaming service. Mm-hmm. And let's be honest, like, if you add a budget to some of these shows, do they improve a drastic amount? The answer is no. Mm-mm. Like, do you think, I've seen people say,
you might get better special effects.
You might get better special effects, but there's only so much you can do with special effects. Right. Like, there's always been that debate that the Flash looked better on TV than it did in the movies. Mm-hmm. That the lightning looked better and the way that everything was done looked better.
That's actually true. I would agree
honestly
with that.
True. So, in some cases, yes, like a show like, I think like Superman and Lois, I think would do better with, because it's Superman. And same with Supergirl, you could argue. But I think with a show like The Flash, Legends, Arrow, like how does HBO Max's budget extensively improve like Arrow's look? The only thing I can think of is cinematography, because you can spend more money on like certain equipment and stuff like that. Right. But outside of that, nothing really.
Yeah.
It's also important to remember that it's on a different model as well. Like, the shows actually don't have, for a whole season, the budget isn't like ridiculously different. It's just that they have about half the episodes, maybe to like 2/3 of the episodes.
Right.
So if you look at The Flash, it's like 22, 23, whatever you want to look at it. Their budget is lower than a show like Stargirl. Stargirl is probably like, Flash for a season's like about 60, 55. It just goes 60 million for a season.
Okay.
Stargirl apparently is 90 for their season, 90 million. But then when you cut down the average of the episodes, Stargirl ends up with about 3 times the budget per episode. Mm-hmm. But you got to remember, just the way it's structured and everything like that, CW is making money off certain things, with just how it's structured and everything like that. I lost my train of thought. One point I was making.
Well, actually think so. Thinking about that and talking about the quality of the shows, the writing is going to stay the same. The actors will stay the same.
I think the difference is also time to prepare it. Like, even Jeff Johns was talking about it in a was it an video or a live stream? It was one of them. I think it was a live stream, but
was it a podcast or something?
No, it was like an interview live stream. That was a long video, went for like 30 minutes. But I think it was it was a live stream. Then I watched it after the fact, so it was a video. But he was talking about how, just how they prepared Stargirl and everything like that, and they were able to save money in certain areas. But I just don't think it's like smart for certain shows that have a bigger appeal in regards to ease of access to go to something like HBO Max. Like with Green Lantern, it has to be on there because they're given the budget. It has to be there.
Right.
Because you can't do it. Like I know everyone was wanting, we want the Diggle show, but let's be completely honest. It was never going to happen.
So, the reason why I think with Green Lantern is all the constructs you would have to do to make the show work, and weapons and flying and space. It's just on a TV budget, it's going to look really bad and it would suffer. So you get the same quality of writing and acting, but you wouldn't get the same special effects. It wouldn't work. Is it going to be 5 episodes long? I mean, that's the thing. I also believe that putting it behind HBO Max, putting that paywall up, I don't think people would necessarily pay for stuff like Supergirl or Flash on HBO Max if you were to move it over.
Watch it, but I don't think it's a draw. I don't think anything like Green Lantern will be, obviously, but I don't think any of the other, like I don't think Justice League Dark's a draw card. I think it's more like if it's there, you watch it. Green Lantern, if it impresses and they get someone attached to it, like in regards to acting wise,
right?
That's a draw card. Like at the moment, HBO Max doesn't have anything. That's a draw card.
And I think when we talk about Snyder Cut later, I'm going to bring that up. That's something that's going to be in my topic or it's in the topics for that.
Yeah, like I don't know.
Basically, what we're saying is that a bigger budget for some of these shows is not worth the trade off. But for being behind a paywall,
it's like a bigger budget for the sake of it. You know, the good example of it is you'll probably know what it is.
Of what, the bigger budget paywall?
Bigger budget doesn't really represent or doesn't really affect the quality too much.
Are we talking about a show that I like?
It's the show that you don't really like.
That I don't really like.
Yeah. It's affiliated with Stargirl.
We're talking about Titans?
Yeah. Titans has
that's what I thought you were talking about, but I wasn't for sure. But yeah, Titans is a great example of that. I mean, like if
you look at it, you go like, where did the budget go? Did they just get a really expensive caterer?
Is I saw a photo of the Robin costume, like in well lighting or a well lit area, and I'm just like, yikes!
Which one though?
The one, the new Robin.
Yeah, his suit isn't as good. The actual what Brenton Thwaites wore, his suit's really good.
Yeah,
I know it's a bit of a flex, but I'm pretty sure it was made of like Gucci.
Yeah.
It has Gucci stuff in it, which I'm like, is that needed?
Well, no. I love like the original Robin suit that we see in the beginning, you know, from the first
like
Robin.
Brenton Thwaites ones is like high quality. It's like it's movie level. It's movie level.
Basically, the Jason Todd suit is the one that I don't.
Yeah, the Jason Todd one is like, oh god,
it looks really bad. And honestly, and I know this is probably controversial though, money wise or whatever. On Titans, if you're not going to put the money in the special effects, why is it not in the costumes? And that's one of the things that I've wondered about that for a while, is that I think their suits are hit or miss. Some of them are really good, and then some of them are like not good at all.
My biggest issue with the Titans ones is that they're pretty much Lycra with plastic on top. Right. So if you see them in good lighting, you can tell that they're not that amazing. Like the Nightwing suit, when it's like not, I want to say poor lighting, but it's a bit darker. It looks great because the blue pops and everything like that, especially when you have a bit of light coming on it. Look at it in daylight.
It's pretty bad.
And it's weird because who makes the Titans suits? The same person who makes the Stargirl suits, right? And the boys suits and the Black Lightning suits and the Doom Patrol stuff.
Which Doom Patrol stuff is amazing. So
Doom Patrol
really
stuff weird. So it's a bit weird that I don't know if it's like. It was maybe just like in the timeline, and like Titans is of less importance. I don't know, but Titans does have that bigger budget, but it is lower than the other shows. I'm not too sure exactly what it is per episode, but it definitely is the bigger budget. But you wouldn't be able to tell. Right. Like I've always said, if you put Titans on the CW, took out let's just swear for the sake of swearing, and the weird digital blood that doesn't look like blood, looks weird. Take that out. It fits right in. It looks like it's on that budget.
It does, and a lot of people don't want to admit that, but it is very much along those lines.
Yeah, and the reason that the Arrowverse has gone on for so long is because they're actually profitable.
Yeah. Yeah.
They make a lot of money.
So moving on from that, but not totally. We're still in the HBO Max conversation here.
So it's a floss to the side instead of a dab.
Yeah. Australian $5 from Tom says, I know you know this, Pagey, but here in Australia we have Binge, which is a combination of both HBO Max and Peacock for the price of one. So you were talking about this before, that you guys are getting like the HBO Max stuff on another platform. So
yeah, so Foxtel, which is like the big cable provider over here, I think it might have been in March or it might have been beginning of April. They bought a lot of HBO Max properties to put on a streaming service, and that they already show HBO stuff over here.
Yeah,
it's not on HBO. I think it's on a channel called, I think it's Showcase. I think it used to be Showtime, now it's Showcase.
Okay.
But now it's on this service called Binge, and they've said that they're getting when HBO Max launches, they're getting all the shows on there. And like Stargirl's on there to be like a debut series and stuff like that. When it comes out eventually, I think the season has to end, which I think is a bit silly. I don't understand why they did that, but like Doom Patrol season 2 is going to be on there, hopefully weekly when it comes out, and various things like that. But the cheapest one's $10, which is about about $7 American per month. And the one I got the $18 one, which is the higher one, just because you can use it on multiple screens. Which is like what, like 15 bucks American, which is the same price of HBO Max in America. Actually, probably less, like 14.
I will say this: HBO Max is very, like, in terms of like the streaming services that we have now, it's extremely high priced compared to what else we have. And I was kind of shocked that it came out with a price point around $15.
I'm surprised it's that much now because they weren't able to release. I think they should have made it. I know it's hard to add like a variable month to month because it's a bit dodgy.
Yeah.
But I don't think it has the content there that is worth $15.
Yeah.
If they had some of their launch, because a lot of them got like they had a handful that like just weren't able to finish filming.
Right.
Like
I can't wait to talk about this because this is going to be my conversation about the Snyder Cut will be in regards to this.
But I do think HBO Max, once it gets going, like I think by next year, if not halfway through next year, I think it's easily the best streaming service, regardless of the price, because just even just the back catalog, I think, is borderline worth it. Like if it was $10 a month just for that back catalog, I don't think you'd be complaining because HBO just has so much quality stuff.
Yeah. So moving on here for a moment, Adam Grunther with the 199 super chat. Thoughts on Legends? Well, Paige hasn't seen it. I have. I thought it was a pretty good episode. It does sort of, I mean, it pretty much sets everything up for the finale in a really smart way. So I can't wait to see where they're going to go with it. I think Legends might have a good shot at having a really good finale this year. I mean, it's like besides Black Lightning, it's the only one that really is going to have a true finale. So I guess it's not a tough thing to do there. King Goat with the $2 super chat. I'm pissed off at how they joked about Arrow on Legends. So there was I know you haven't seen this, Paigey, but there is a joke on there where they're making fun of Arrow being a successful show. It's like a tongue-in-cheek joke, but I knew some people were going to be mad about it. But yeah, they're joking about a Robin Hood show about a vigilante in modern times or whatever. And we obviously, we know where they're going with that. So let's see. I'm going to clear out these super chats before we move on. Where we got it here. Jesus, they're so far behind. All right. Shawnick with Guggenheim directed and wrote the Arrow joke. Yes. Yeah, he did. Guggenheim's direction, I think it was the first time directing ever on any of the shows, was Legends Tonight. So I don't know. It's kind of weird. It took him so long. I mean, he probably could have just directed anytime he wanted, right? It's pretty much his stuff.
8 seasons of Arrow, I think.
Yeah. Chalk King with $2. That guy Crusher wasted a cookie. Not cool. Okay, so we're jumping into Stargirl. Let's go ahead and talk about this a little bit and see where this goes. So Crusher, that was probably one of my favorite parts of Stargirl tonight was that scene with actually both scenes, the one he had with Pat at the gym and the one at the school. I thought that was hilarious. I think he's going to be one of my favorite characters on the show. We haven't seen much of him yet, but I definitely think it's Sportsmaster to me has always been kind of a weird villain anyway. So seeing this version of him and the way they're portraying him on the show, I think it's going to be fun. And I'm okay with that. I'm not against fun, contrary to popular belief. What do you think about Crusher, about Sportsmaster?
Yeah, I think the way they because I think it's always a bit. They always treat him like a joke anyway. In certain aspects, it depends what. But I think in most, he's treated as a bit of a silly character. So I think just going this way and making him like this gym nut and like health freak and just a sport nut in general, I think that's probably the right way to go. Yeah, I think this is the only way you could take him in a.
If they made him super serious, it wouldn't have worked. It wouldn't have worked at all.
Yeah, so, it had to be this like gym nut sport freak dude. Yeah,
give us the Sportsmaster cut. Like I'm just saying, right now I want it. Cuts of everything. Sportsmasters first. Tom here, $5 super chat. Do you see Grant did an Insta Live with David Rappaport today about casting and his thoughts on the Flash? Very informative. Grant's such a cool dude. It's hard for me to keep up with all the random lives that the actors are doing. I really have trouble.
I see them pop on my phone. I'm like, can't be bothered.
It's always like the worst times. I'm always like in the middle of making a video, or I'm doing something, getting ready to record something. So it's like I just look at it. I'm like, oh, I can't stop what I'm doing now to watch this, because you don't know how long it's going to go on. It could be like 2 hours.
If it was on YouTube, I'd be fine because I put it on, open another tab, do something else on my computer. But it's on my friggin' phone. I'm not looking at my phone like an idiot.
Right,
like,
right. No,
I can't be bothered. And
I will watch it when somebody uploads it to YouTube, which we know is going to happen.
We'd have like Grandis Forever or something would be the account.
Chalk King with the $2 super chat. Fun fact: Australia is known as the happiest country. I didn't know that. Thank you for that fun fact. Are you happy, Paigey? Is that the way it goes?
Not really, because I had to talk about Instagram lives, and I think it's stupid.
Okay, King Goat with the $2 super chat. I don't see the point of the cut. He filmed 70% of the move, so I'm guessing movie. So talking about Mauve. Okay, so we're just bouncing around here. Let's talk a little bit about the Snyder Cut. We touched on it a little bit last week, but now we've gotten more information on it, and we know it's probably going to be split up like over 4 or 5 episodes total, like 4 hours, 5 hours, something along those lines. And apparently they're putting more than 30 million into this. Did I read that somewhere? They're actually going to put...
No, they said that they don't want to put more than 30 million.
Okay, so that's like their cap. Like they don't want to put more than that.
Well, I think because it's a short-lived thing. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're going to be able to... I think there might be, I don't know if there's any legal issues around them, like sort of putting it on like digital media or even selling it to other streaming services. I think, or other just services in general. I think there might be an issue around that. I think I read that somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, the thing is that this sort of confirms that the Snyder Cut didn't exist.
Exactly. I was going to say that. So if there was a version of the movie that was screened for people, it wasn't finished.
It was storyboards and maybe some voiceover from Zach.
It's fine. It's fine. I mean, that's how films are done. We do that all the time. But saying that the cut exists or people had seen the whole movie, obviously not. If you've got to invest like 20 or 30 million in post-production, it wasn't done.
Yeah.
So, and that doesn't mean that it's going to be bad or that I hate it or that I'm against it. I'm just saying that it exists and then investing 30 million into it, to me, feels like it wasn't done the way they wanted to do it.
Yeah. The thing is, also, we might as well just jump into all the Snyder Cut stuff.
Yeah.
I have a feeling this is going to end in the worst possible way. I'm not saying in regards to what people think of it, but it's well known that this cut ends on a cliffhanger. They're not doing a part 2 to it. I think that's pretty obvious. They're not doing because they're not going to do anything theatrical with this. This is like they've already they're pretty much
they've already said that actors are not coming back into film for this guy.
Ben Affleck. No, I think they did say that, but I think it's only a select actors. So Ben Affleck might come and do ADR, and they might have like a stunt person in a Batman suit, because honestly you can't even tell. If anything they digitally altered, it wouldn't be. Honestly, it doesn't really matter with Ben.
You're right. You're right. Yeah, I mean that's.
You can even argue with Ezra Miller, it probably wouldn't even matter.
Right.
It's really with probably Aquaman.
Put a stunt person in a suit and call it a day. You don't need them there for that. So.
Yeah. So that's the biggest issue. Hopefully, Zach doesn't try. I think HBO Max will probably tell him as well. They might actually make him don't maybe try and end it off as like it's a rounded movie, because Justice League, the one that won the movies, is a rounded movie. It's a well-rounded movie. It has a beginning and an end. It doesn't have a cliffhanger. You could say that it ends where it can go somewhere, but it ends there. Like it's just a singular movie.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping this doesn't, because I'm not in any way want to deal with release the Snyder Cut Part 2. I don't think anyone wants to deal with that.
But I think we're heading in that direction, because this is not going to be it's going to end on a cliffhanger.
If Zach doesn't say stop. If he says stop, that's it, then they'll stop, because it's pretty much a cult. Let's be completely honest.
So
actually, not all of it. Let me rephrase it, because I don't want to get attacked. There's the Snyder cult, which are the really toxic ones.
Okay.
And they'll be the ones that'll be demanding Part 2 the most.
All right.
I think the normal people in the Snyder Cut, I was going to say fandom, but I don't think they'd like the word fandom, like movement, if you want to call it.
Yeah.
They'd be happy just with getting this thing, whether it's a 5-hour thing, a 4-hour thing, or just a 3-hour movie, whatever it's going to be. I think they've been happy because it's what they've been asking for. They've been asking for Part 2. They've just been asking for this. So hopefully if this comes out, Zach's happy with that. And maybe as a reward, he'll get Man of Steel 2 and he can go do that.
So, right. And I would be happy with a Man of Steel 2.
Yeah.
I think that would be
great. I think he should be the one to do it, even though I wasn't in love with that Superman from Man of Steel, but I understand why it was like that, and because it played into BVS and everything like that, and then I guess played into what I guess would have happened in Justice League.
Right.
So I wouldn't mind seeing him continue that.
Right.
But that's where I would want him probably just to stay. You know what I mean? Like,
because the thing is, if this ends up being way better than what the one we saw in the theater was, people are going to want more of that, and it's going to be rough. And this is why I think it's probably not the best idea that they're doing this. Yeah. But I understand why they're doing it, and that's what I wanted to get into. Yeah. So go ahead, say what you're going to say.
I was going to say, I think you're probably going to bring this up as well, but like the only point it's happening isn't because they want to say they weren't giving into fans or anything like that. It's literally a business decision because they want subscribers. Yes, like they'd be stupid not to do it.
And I'm going to go even further than that. And this is no offense to people that got victory with this, because I think it's awesome. If you really, really wanted to see this version of the movie, congratulations.
As long as you weren't being toxic.
Yeah. I think that's great. And I'm fine with more content. I'm not mad about that at all. And so I think that's wonderful. So it was a victory, but it was a victory in a way that I think happened only because HBO Max doesn't have a lot of content right now. Stuff got shut down in production. And you have this movie that everybody's been asking for. Well, I say everybody. That's a little hyperbolic. That a bunch of people have been asking for and pushing for years now. You have this. It's almost done. It's almost finished. And you only have to invest a fraction of what a brand new series would cost you to film to finish it. And you're basically going to get free press because the fans of it they're blowing it up. It's all over the place. So financially, they've got something that they can get out there. They're investing a little bit of money into. They're definitely going to make back off of subscriptions based on this property. And so for them, it's not about the fans. It's not really about Zack Snyder. It is literally a business move from them because they need something at the beginning of 2021 to get people to stick around. This is their way to do it. And I understand that. And hopefully it works out for them because I think they do have some good ideas for shows and things. But the toxicity isn't what made them do this. It was a business decision, and that's it. So anyway, anything else you want to add on that? We'll jump back to the stuff when we get another question about it. But I have a couple super chats here, so I didn't know if you wanted to dive more into the Snyder Cut before we move on for a moment. You good?
The thing I'm curious about is to see what the response to it, because I think there's going to be people that just will. I'm not going to say they're going to sit there hating it, but they'll just go, Rotten Tomatoes, didn't even watch it. Rotten, 1.5 out of 5.
Yeah.
Same as the theatrical, except some edgy stuff. Like, that's probably what I reckon there's going to be a lot of people. I'm not saying like the top critics, but there'll be critics that are just, because you got to remember, a lot of people weren't happy about this because, as we're saying, it was a business decision by HBO Max, but a lot of people see it as like giving into toxic fandom.
No, I absolutely see
which it isn't, because I think it's more of a business decision.
I agree, but I understand why they would say that because it does feel like they were succumbing to the pressures from everybody, and I understand that. So,
but it's going to be interesting to see the response because personally, for me, I'm actually intrigued to see what you got. You have to say about this. I don't think it's going to be drastically better. I think Justice League is a movie that we're going to isn't that bad. It's just average. It's just a
Yeah,
disappointing.
it's an average movie.
It's just disappointing. It shouldn't be what a Justice League movie is, but you watch it, turn it on and be like, okay, yeah, I enjoyed watching it. I had fun watching it. Like
I've seen way worse superhero movies than Justice League. I mean,
it was disappointing, but it just I think to sit there saying it was the worst. I've seen people saying it's like the worst superhero movie ever. Oh my god, everything like that. I'm like, Jesus, talk about being over dramatic.
Yeah. Well, we'll dive more into that later. I've got some more thoughts on it. I've got a couple articles I want to talk about. Amir here with the $5 super chat. He goes, Sam Curtis, Royal Flush Gang, a villain in DC who's Courtney's father, yet he looks like the superhero Starman Sylvester. Any thoughts on that? So there's obviously the mystery of the season, or one of the mysteries of the season, is who Courtney's father actually is. And they're setting this up early on the show or whatever. Do you think that they're actually going to make her Starman's daughter? Or do you think we're going to find out that there's something else going on there? What do you think?
I think it's just going to be this false hope that Courtney has. I think it's just a false hope thing. And then she'll probably be like some realization thing. Maybe it'll be the thing holding her back from like doing certain things.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll just be I think it'll just be a plot point at some point in the season. Her coming to the realization that her dad was just this scumbag.
Yeah. And I think that's also for them to help build the family relationship between her and Pat as well.
Yeah.
Because he's there for her. Her real dad's not there for her. And that makes sense. Chalk King with $2 said, my friend thought Trigon looked good. Yikes. Let me look up the Trigon. I forget how bad it is.
It's bad. No.
Is it? I forget. Because I kind of wiped that from my memory. It's a little bit here. So let's see. Trigon. Oh, God. Oh, geez. Yeah, this is oh gosh, hold on. Let me let me open this up here. This is yikes. This is a yikes here. Let me share this with you guys. Oh man. Let's see. Just it right here. I think this is it. Look at that. Look at that hotness from Trigon. That is so bad. Like, it doesn't even look like it exists in the real world. It looks literally like a two-dimensional photo. It's
oh god.
Who green?
Yeah. God, the blue filter doesn't help it.
Yeah.
Probably Akiva Goldsman.
All right, let's go down here and see. Tom with another super chat, $2. Why did Ray not stay until the end of Legends season 5? That's drama. I don't even know the real answer to that. Apparently it's not like he wanted to leave. Apparently that they didn't want to keep him around. There's been rumors that he was too expensive to keep and that they didn't have any stories for him. And I've heard so many different reasons. Any thoughts on this? I have no clue. It seems like it's dramatic though.
Yeah, I think it was just money and I don't know, something like that.
And so yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
The simple answer is money. I mean, that's probably what it is. Chalk King with $2. Anyone watching 13 Reasons Why season 4 next week? Well, I've never ever watched that show, so I don't know why. I'm getting that super chat, but thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Have you watched this show? I've never watched it before. I know what it's about. I've just never watched it.
I watched season 1 and 2. I can't remember if I watched the third one. I think I did. Or I watched part of it. I think it got stupid. Yeah, I can't remember.
If you sign up for HBO Max before launch tomorrow here in the US, you get it for $11.99 for the year. I guess a month. Yeah. Well, thanks for the heads up, Laura. Appreciate it. Geez, I think I may have missed some super chats. Let's scroll back up. Yeah, please. I probably did. Anyway, if I missed your super chat, just say something. Let me know. Anthony Beltry, 199 super chat. Do you think Stargirl would cross over with the Flash? There's a possibility of that happening. I mean, I wouldn't rule it out completely. I think really depends if Stargirl stays a summer series or not, because that might make it a little bit difficult to do the crossover. But the filming for a streaming show is different from a regular TV show. So maybe they could have her show up for like a cameo or something. For some reason, I thought there was a rumor of Stargirl actually being on the Flash, like as a episode before it came out, but I don't think that worked out. Right? Was that like a rumor or?
No, they were going to do a crossover. I think it was when Stargirl was set to premiere where Titans did, because Stargirl got delayed because they've got the CW deal. So yeah, Stargirl was meant to come out like end of last year. So when Titans come out, like October or September, that's when Stargirl was meant to come out, but then they swapped them. So Titans was meant to come out at the beginning of this year, or like around May or something, I guess.
Mhm.
And so they swapped them around. I guess there was meant to be a crossover with Flash then, and that's probably why it would technically made more sense that they're in Crisis. When they appear in the end of Crisis, I think that probably makes more sense if they premiere at the time they're meant to. But I think that's probably when the crossover was meant to happen. But it doesn't make sense chronologically if she just shows up.
Absolutely.
But I think it'll happen. I think that'd be stupid not to. I'm just intrigued to see what they do with Stargirl going forward, because I mean, when we jump into more of a Stargirl conversation, I have a big issue that I want to bring up. I want to get
We're gonna. That's what I was gonna do. I'm gonna finish out these super chats and then we're gonna talk just about Stargirl for a bit.
Yeah.
Noodle says, I heard the DC universe will either combine or be a bundle with HBO Max. I mean,
I don't think that's possible because the yearly subscriptions.
Oh, here's another HBO Max question. People are excited about this service already. Staggervore 199, he says, do you think HBO Max is worth the price? I would say it's questionable at the moment. Once they get their stuff rolling, I think it's definitely worth the price. Right now, it's kind of questionable.
How many people can watch it simultaneously? Do you know that?
Oh, I don't know.
Probably like 4. Well, that's usually the basic one.
Yeah, I would say yes. Probably if you're paying $14.99, I would say they have some sort of like multiple.
I think it's worth it if your whole family is going to tune into it, like easily. Like I think if your like mom and dad are going to watch it, or if it's just you and your roommates are going to watch it, or wherever it might be, if you're going to like 2 or 3 people are going to tune into it, then I'd say 100% yes.
Yeah.
Like I saw someone say that Disney Plus is only $6.99, but Disney Plus, let's be completely honest, has, and here's the first demonetization of the stream, it has shit all. Like seriously, it's got nothing. I can't believe how overhyped Disney Plus was. Mandalorian.
They should have had a really good Marvel series.
They stuffed up. I can't believe that, because from what I know, like I don't even know what happened with What If. Even if it was just What If, like release like 10 episodes of What If.
They said they had 6 episodes done or something, and they just won't release it.
Yeah, apparently that thing's taking so long because they want to finish the entire thing. And like, we're not going to release it all at once. You're going to release it each week, aren't you?
Yeah, I regret. I paid for an entire year up front because I thought we're going to get all this great content, and it's getting closer to that year mark. And I've only really seen 2 shows that I really like on that platform. So
it's a bad sign when Simpsons is always in the top 3 trending.
Yeah, that's true.
I know it's popular, but that should not be the top every single week.
Victor T. Chinchilla with a $4.99 super chat. Does Robbie Amell want to come back to the Airverse? Will the Airverse try to bring him back? So here's the thing. Robbie Amell is on a very popular first season show now on Amazon called Upload, and he's working with the Quibi thing for Code 8, I think. So he's really busy. I don't know if he would have the time to even come back and work in the Airverse.
Something else. I think it's a Netflix show. I think he's only like a guest star though.
Yeah, but the Upload show is his, and it did really well. It's getting very good reviews, and it's actually a really good series, I think.
Yeah.
So I think he's kind of committed to that, and that show is like what 20 to 30-minute episodes for like 10 episodes a season.
Yeah, it's like what you get on network TV, but they take it out. So it's like 20, 25 minutes or something.
Yeah. All right, let's go through the super chats. Do I have any more here? Tom. Too much to type, so refer to my messages below. All right, let's see if I can do this. The Hollywood Reporter said, forget the version the fans wanted technically didn't exist. What exists was a semi-unfinished work with no visual effects, no post-production. One person who had seen that version described it as a car with no panels, just a drivetrain and some seats. Set on a hard drive at Snyder's house. When we left the movie, I just took the drive of the cut on it, and I honestly never thought it would be anything. So if that's truly that much money, 30 million won't be enough. Expert film analysts are saying 60 to 70 million. Well, they've announced it now, so they have to do something with it. I don't know if it's going to be at the end, if it's going to be worth all of it, but maybe it will be.
Another thing, like, I'm not going to name names because I'm not going to do that unless it's a certain person starting with a W. Weeks and Whamers. What was I going to say? I think the biggest issue with the Snyder Cut isn't because I think the fandom is just going to shut up. They'll just talk about it amongst themselves, fiddle with each other over that for the next year, or whatever it's going to be. YouTube has become a cesspool with this crap. Once again, not going to name names, but I'm seeing the most anus-smelling videos and stuff coming out. Holy crap. I know when something comes out, you talk about, you might do double the videos on it. Well, actually, I probably wouldn't, but like, you know, there's certain channels about like Ruby Rose. Like I saw a channel
one video about it.
I saw someone upload 4 days in a row talking about Batwoman, Ruby Rose, in a negative way. I'm like, 4 in a row when there wasn't news after that first day for like 5 days. Right. Took so long there to do, did all that in a row. But yeah, the Snyder Cut stuff, wow, it's bad. And there's still going to be a year of it. There's going to be so much clickbait.
Well, because now that it's been confirmed, we can continuously do rumors. Like, this person's coming back. Are they going to, like, I've already seen the articles about like trying to get rid of Robert Pattinson as Bruce Wayne because they want to bring Ben Affleck back. And I'm like,
yeah, and just like there's going to be like all these because they've already said there's going to be like some people said there's going to be quote unquote cameos throughout the movie. It's like, who's the cameo? There's various things like you're going to get. I can already tell one.
Am I going to have to start putting these videos out? Am I going to have? This is what I'm going to be.
We should have Airrick's weekly clickbate roundup.
I know there's channels I can tell people to go to if you want to see that.
And you just blur out the names. You know what you literally just do?
What's that?
You do 10-minute and 1 second video. So not 6 ad breaks, mid rolls, and it's just you scrolling through YouTube with Snyder Cut. You blur out the channel names, maybe the thumbnail, but definitely the channel name, so there's no clout given, and you just read the titles
and laugh, and that's just what I can
laugh.
do. Yeah,
Airrick's clickbait roundup. Just type whatever you want in the search bar: Snyder Cut, Ayer cut, Trank cut, Batwoman.
Jesus, let's not even go there.
Superman woke? Question mark.
Moving on, we have a non-super chat question that I see here that I think would be fun to answer quickly because I think we've heard a little bit about this, or at least some inklings of it. Do you think the Green Arrow and the Canary should not get picked up and the cliffhanger gets resolved on Legends? What do you think?
If it doesn't get picked up, you just ignore it ever happened.
Right, that's what I would say.
I'd actually hate it if Legends dealt with it. I'd be like, what are you doing? Why are you acknowledging that?
Tom here, $2 super chat with Ray. I met. Why not wait till the end? And why mids? Because they just couldn't afford him. Probably.
It's not like he just he'd work for free.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm thinking. You just got too expensive. Chalk King with a $5 super chat. What is the DC movie you're most hyped for, and the one you're the least hyped for? Also, wasn't the DC originally going to be 5 films? Thoughts? Okay, so
Justice League.
Yeah. Let's see. The one I'm most hyped for. I don't know. Probably the new Wonder Woman movie. I think that looks really cool because I love the 80s. So just the fact that it's got that 80s vibe. Least hype for is probably Suicide Squad. I don't know. I'll go see it. You know, I'm just not too hyped for it at the moment. And originally going to be 5 films. I mean, I thought it was going to be more. I thought it was going to be like a longer thing, like ongoing, like the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I think he means Justice League.
Oh, what do you mean? Was the Justice League going to be 5 films? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, I don't know about that. Is there have you heard anything about that? I never.
Well, I was going to say when they announced the DCU slate, it had like 10 films on there. So
that's true.
Yeah. For me, I wasn't looking forward to Black Adam just because I'm like, okay, it's just okay. But then when they said the JSA is going to be there, it heavily bumped up. Like Black Adam was towards the bottom of my list. But when that stuff came out, it seems like it's confirmed that they're going to be in it. Especially because it's gonna have like Jay Garrick in there and Alan Scott Green Lantern. That gets me excited.
That's pretty cool.
I don't think it's top. People might hate this. I'm still really looking forward to the Flash movie.
I'm not really because I just don't like Ezra Miller as the Flash. But that's
it's still to me like as I think that he just can't have creative control on the character. I think that's definitely something that Zack Snyder stuffed up with. He gave a lot of it, but Ezra Miller's just a bit out there. He's a bit, how you going? Like, ooh, bit, you know.
I just don't see him as Barry Allen. That's the only thing is I don't see that.
It's like he ate a bucket load of sugar every single time he talks.
Yeah.
So they really can't just give him something to act around. Don't let him create. I know that you can give actors creative freedom, but if they're going to go that far, then bring it back a bit, please.
Yeah.
Do this, be this.
His is a little eccentric, I think. Tom here with the $2 super chat. What scenes of Stargirl they cut out tonight? So I only caught the back half of the episode. I didn't catch the beginning of it. So did you notice anything they cut tonight that was major from the original version?
They cut. They cut like the biggest one. They cut like a 2.5 minute scene, which was that scene where Barbara's at her new work, and it's like so they have one next week, which is pretty much the same. So it might be weird because there's no correlation to it. Because in this one, she like the one that they left out, she gets like shut up, like stop talking.
Where she's talking to the gambler character, right?
Yeah, Stephen Sharp.
Yeah.
But then next week there's something similar, which I won't spoil.
Okay.
But it works better that time.
Yeah, I mean, I know what you're talking about. I'm not going to spoil it either,
so they cut that out, which I don't blame them for because it's just like whatever. Like it's not a very interesting scene in that episode. Just that for next week it provides a bit more context, a bit more setup. They cut out the wizard bit at the beginning. I know that because I was talking about it in the comment section of my review. Someone said, "Who was the woman that talked to Pat at the thing?" And I was like, "Oh, it's the wizard's wife." And I was like, "Oh, wait, the wizard bit wasn't even in the episode, so he wouldn't even know that was his wife." So they cut that out. But obviously, they won't. I guess they could have cut that scene out in the thing but maybe that person who was editing it didn't even realize or something like that. Yeah, which I think the wizard bit, I don't think really mattered too much if they cut it out.
Right.
As long as they cut out that bit from the open house thing at the high school. If that was cut out, then it really wouldn't have mattered too much.
Yeah, but
there's
a disconnect from that.
And then there's little things like
I hope we don't get that through the rest of the series. I hope the episodes fit.
No, Jeff Johns confirmed the episodes are pretty much the same from episode 3 onwards, except they're like maybe 30 seconds to a minute longer, and they can cut out just like transitional scenes and stuff like that.
That's good.
Or if it's a scene where someone like looks at, they just react to something. If it then goes on for a bit, which they tend to do, they can just trim it down a bit. They also cut a scene. It's just before the montage where Pat goes out with the striped suit. And he is trying to get it working properly and like punches himself in the head.
Yeah,
there's a scene where like he hears someone above him and he's going to see who it is, and it's the dog. But they cut that out. Okay. And then there was a couple of other little cuts.
So very, very tiny scenes in the episode then.
Yeah, honestly. Like the biggest ones were the wizard one and the Barbara at the workplace at the American Dream.
So Chalk King here with the $2 super chat. We might get a Marvel Disney Plus series this year. I mean, I don't know.
I think didn't they say Scarlet Witch is not
They said that, but I'm starting to get curious if that's actually going to happen or not. Because
I don't know, mate. The service by the time that comes out, the service would have been out for a year.
Yeah,
probably.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, why did I pay that for that year? I got one show that I wanted to see.
Yeah.
Staggervore 199 super chat. Is there any news on the Flash season 7's big bad? No. I mean, I don't think they're going to release. We won't hear anything like that until filming gets underway. Most likely,
maybe there'll be like no Flash news for like definitely not through June. Maybe end of July, but that depends when they go back to filming.
I think we'll start to get news when people start flying back into Vancouver for filming. Is when we'll start seeing something.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Or if like there's exclusive on casting information.
Mir with a $10 super chat. With the new multiverse, you think we could actually get this Barry going back in time to save his younger self from Thawne? Because there could be a new Thawne, not Thawne that survived in Nash. So I've heard this theory before, mostly surrounding like the Barry from the future, like the original timeline Barry or whatever. I think, and correct me if I'm totally crazy with this, because sometimes my stuff is crazy, but I think we're done with Barry going back to his mother's house. I don't think, to that house where he grew up in. I don't think we're going to see that much anymore, if at all. I think we're done with that.
I think the only time you'll ever see that again is probably in the series finale. That's the only unless they have for some reason they need to show a flashback to there, but I don't think we'll actually go there until the series finale. Why are people talking about Grace Randolph in the chat?
I know. I'll get down to it. Thank you so much for the $10. I don't think we're ever going to see Barry go back and save himself from Thawne. I think that has to play out the way it did in order for us to have the show we have right now. So I don't think that's going to happen. But I do believe that we will see something with Thawne and Nash, because I do believe that was kind of what was going to happen at the end of the season. So we'll wait and see. But thank you so much for that. Silhouetted Animator, video thumbnails with the surprise face equals cringe and ignore. I mean, I think I have I ever used that one? I hope not, because now I'm like, should I say anything about it? No comment.
I think you've used the emoji. I think
I have, but I don't
they
think I've
talk
used
about
that
people
one.
actually doing that face.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's like they're sucking a fart.
Anthony, oh Jesus. I have to read this out. It's a super chat. Anthony Beltry, 199 super chat. The only person Paige hates is Warstu clickbait god.
No, I don't hate anyone. You have to do a lot for me to hate you.
Yeah.
I'm not a very hateful person.
Captain J Tim with a $5 super chat. Stargirl didn't show djairrick because they haven't hired an actor or something else by when they're going to announce the new Batwoman. Just saw your vid, Paigey. So yeah, djairrick. I mean, we'll probably see something about djairrick at some point on the show. But yeah, he's not. I don't think he's going to factor into like the first part of the season. So I don't think it's going to matter too much. As far as the new Batwoman, they have to announce it soon because they have to go back to filming in a couple of months. So yeah, I would say probably sometime over the next 2 months, we'll see something come out about Batwoman. Do you know anything about Batwoman that I don't know? Because I'm not sure.
No, all I know is that someone tweeted at that Wallace Day and said, like this tweet if you've been cast as Batwoman, and she decided to like it.
Who did?
Wallace Day. She was in Krypton.
Okay.
She looks very much like she could easily slide in and be Ruby Rose's replacement, and she also looks very, very much like Rachel Scarston. So it'd be a very easy thing to believe that they're twins. I don't know. I'm intrigued to see who they cast as Batwoman in general because they really got to toss up what happened with Ruby where she wasn't dealing with the workload. So they need to bring up someone who can slide into the role and not really need training wheels, that someone can just jump in and do the work, but then also someone that can work for that period of time.
That wants to be there because that was one of the things that she didn't seem.
Well, I think that's why I think that's why they'd be looking into someone in the LGBT community because it's just a character that stands for something. So I can definitely see that. I think whoever would even want to have the role would probably be up to staying around. It'll be interesting. I don't think we're going to hear anything about it for a bit. Like I've seen people trying to like clickbait and lead people on saying, "Oh, there's rumors of this person." Like they wouldn't know if they knew that. Then they wouldn't. If this person knew they were looking for Batwoman, they would have known that Ruby Rose was going. Where was that exclusive article? You idiot.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Canada Graphs. I really didn't expect you to ever catch up to super chats. I try. I do. I really appreciate them, and I try to get to all of them. So, but for some reason, StreamYard's super chat thing is kind of annoying. So here's a good question. Let's talk about Stargirl now that we've gotten through a lot of the super chats. Laura E., do you think the janitor in Stargirl is a former member of the JSA? What do you think? We talked about this a bit, actually.
What was the question? I'm not on
the janitor from Stargirl. Former member of the JSA.
Well, I'm going to be spoiling it because I know exactly who he is because I read Stars and Stripes. Stars and Stripe.
But he is going to be a character of importance, so keep an eye on that character.
He's not in. I can also say he's not the JSA, and going by the book, he isn't Courtney's father. So those are the two theories I've had that the janitor is Courtney's dad.
Not an official member of the JSA.
Yeah, he's not. But he is a part of a team, which Jeff Johns has referenced in interviews and stuff.
Okay.
Actually, I'll also screw. It's I'll just say it because there's no point. Like, I don't think it's going to be like people will Google it and it'll take you about 5 minutes of Googling to figure out who it is.
Okay.
That janitor, I'm 97 points.
Spoilers.
I'm 99.75% sure is Shining Knight or Sir Justin. I'm pretty sure that's the character. So he's a part. Oh, Jesus. He's a part of the Seven Soldiers of Victory, which are a group that were on Earth too, and pretty much they lead into the JSA. So they were like the first group, and then it leads into the JSA, and the Star-Spangled Kid, who was Sylvester Pemberton, led into that group of the Seven Soldiers of Victory. Okay. And then the JSA came about. Fun fact, have no idea if it's going to happen, but if they're going for comic accuracy, we could get a Green Arrow on Stargirl, which would be awesome. I don't know if they'd cast someone. It might be like a similar thing to the Stargirl JSA picture where it's just artwork and they show a Green Arrow, but it could be classic Green Arrow, which is, with the almost like the Robin, not the Robin Hood hat. It's like, like when he first appeared in the comics, that's sort of like Robin Hood hat, that very green. It's like your shirt. It's like a literal green thing. But yeah, I'd read it up. As I said, if you watch Stargirl and you like Stargirl, read Stars and Stripe because the show is pretty much like 75% that with Infinity Inc. chucked in there, which is like the new JSA and stuff. I'd watch it. I'd read it. Sorry, it depends if you want to, because it will reveal a lot because they're pretty much doing that story. The janitor is not Sam Curtis; it's Justin. I can tell you that. I can tell you, in fact, it's Sir Justin.
Oh, thank you for
you know why?
Because
in the trailer, in one of the trailers, you literally see him in the background holding a freaking sword. So he's it's Shining Knight.
Okay,
and
yeah,
I'm pretty sure they're fighting in the headquarters of the Seven Soldiers of Victory.
Oh, okay, well,
not sure. I'm not going to say that 100%, but it looks
100%. Paige, you just said that's 100% sure that they're doing that. So make sure
I will stab you. I will stab you in the throat with something blunt, so it won't be nice.
Tom with the $2 super chat, is Brainwave dead? Could Harry Jr. become Brainwave? I think they're setting up for the kids to become like the next members of the Injustice Society. I mean, I feel like they are. I don't know if they're going to be exact copies of their parents, but I think they are setting up for the kids to do something bad. That's what I feel.
Yeah, like. Brainwave isn't dead. He'll be back. He'll probably be back and with a vengeance.
So what was it in tonight's episode of Stargirl that you wanted to talk about that you said you wanted to like get into once we were
okay. So one thing that's sort of, I'm really confused why it's being done like this is the gap. So DC Universe, it comes out on a Sunday. If you're in California or the West Coast, it comes out at 9 p.m. your time on a Sunday.
Right.
Now it's been advertised it comes out on a Monday, but it comes out Monday midnight on the East Coast.
For me,
so for you, it comes out Monday midnight on DC Universe, which is still 44 hours roughly before it comes out in the CW. That gap is too much for spoilers. It's going to be a disaster when we get to the end of the season.
Yeah.
So many people are going to have the episodes ruined for them on Twitter because people will be wanting to join the conversation and be like, oh, yes, it's out in the CW. Let me click the hashtag Stargirl. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, Pat got his head ripped off.
I would say the majority of the people are going to watch it on the CW, honestly. And that's
the majority are. However, I think there's going to be bleeding from that because I've already had people saying that they're not even signing up to DC Universe. They're just illegally downloading it. Once it's down on DC Universe, because I don't know how they do it, because from what I know, you can't even screen record off, like they black it out. So I don't even know how they do it. Technology happens, I guess.
They're probably using a second monitor. They're probably
something like a capture card, probably, maybe. Yeah. A capture card is probably the best.
Because it's like streaming a game to your computer. So
but whether go Flash fan said, can you block words on Twitter? So that you could, but the thing is, a casual user won't. No, don't do that. They won't be expecting it because they could go through the entire season where that doesn't happen. But then you get into those last handful of episodes, like, crap.
So here's the thing. I feel bad because I have my review done like a whole day before the episode even comes out, and it's going to be like that for a while. So it's really tough because there are people who are not waiting until it airs. Like I put mine up at the very end of the hour tonight from the actual East Coast airing. There are people who are going to want to rush to get those reviews up as quickly as possible. And they're going to put spoilers in the thumbnail. They're going to put spoilers in the titles, and people are just going to have to deal with it. And that sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks because you're going to have to avoid like YouTube and social media in general for like a whole day and a half if you don't want to get spoiled.
Yeah. I think it's fine if I think it should be, it comes out exactly 24 hours before. So it comes out 8/7 Central for everywhere, but let's just say on the East Coast, comes out at 8, goes on DC Universe at 8. 24 hours. So on Monday night, it goes up there on 8 o'clock. That's when it goes live. 24 hours later, it goes on the CW. But I don't know why it's not like it gets clogged. DC Universe, there's not enough users. It's not me having a go at them, but there's not many people subscribe to it.
I use it mostly for reading comic books.
Yeah, anyway, there's not enough people subscribe to it to clog it and make it shut down. Right. Like even when Titans came out, their first show, it didn't get clogged, and people were waiting for that because they knew it was coming out. I was like, freaking, I finally have something new to watch on this thing. That it didn't even get clogged then. The only time I think it ever got clogged was when it first launched. It crashed a couple of times over the first day or two when nothing was on there anyway. It was just people wanting to sign in and see what it was. So I don't think they're going to change it, but it's going to be I reckon it's going to be a big issue. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I'd blame DC Universe because it's advertised as it comes out in the day before, but really, in reality, it's coming out 2 days before. Like, really, if they're going to do that, why shouldn't it just be on Monday night then on the CW?
Well, I mean, here's the thing, though. Do they think they're sort of enticing people to subscribe by
No,
making it like a whole day before, 2 days.
Yeah, because I think even I can't remember who it was actually, but someone was saying that like this is so weird. It's the only show that's ever come out that time because usually they come out about 12 hours later. They usually because I think the only show that ever came out around that time might have been Harley Quinn, but actually not. I don't think it was even Harley Quinn. All of them, like Titans, used to come out like midnight for me, but now Stargirl is coming out at 2 p.m. for me or 1 p.m.
Right,
something like that. But it used to come out at midnight. Same with Titan, same with Doom Patrol. All these shows used to come out at midnight for me.
Yeah.
When they would come into DC Universe. So why is Stargirl the only show coming out then? It's probably so there's a longer period of time between them and the CW. But I think that's shitting on your fans of the show. To me personally, I think that's like allowing a longer time for spoilers. Like people already get triggered about the 3-hour gap from East Coast to West Coast. So imagine a 44-hour gap.
When we go live, normally after a Flash episode is on, we go live probably about 20 minutes before it finishes airing on the West Coast. And people come into the chat just to be upset that they were streaming before that. And we haven't even done anything. You know what I mean? So
like Charles Burrow went, I think Stargirl being shown on Tuesday, the CW has more to do with CW's program more than anything else. Yeah, the reason it's now is because the CW got to choose where it comes out. So CW is like, we want on a Tuesday in Flash's time slot before Legends and stuff like that. It's good business. It's good to place it there. But DC Universe was always given that day in advance, but they're taking that to the next level by putting it almost another 24 hours before, another 20 hours earlier than when I think most people thought it would have gone up. Like, fair enough, even if they release in like the middle of the day on Monday, because people probably wouldn't watch it till that nighttime period anyway.
Yeah,
to be completely honest. But I think it just allows spoilers to get out there. I saw people already got like, what happens at the end of episode 3.
Yeah.
Next week could be the first instance of Disaster Town.
Yeah, because it leads off into a big thing at the end of the episode. So
yeah, episode 3 is like the booster episode where things just going
to the wow episode. Yeah.
It's like the thing that pushes it forward. So next week could be does DC is anything
I will warn people, if you don't want to get spoiled for Stargirl, if you're social media probably all day Tuesday
until you watch it. It's like, and if you're gonna watch it, look at this point, I think DC Universe is a bit of it's been a disaster. I wouldn't give them any money, and I love DC. DC is my shiznit, but this has just been, I think it's just terrible, just business in general with this whole thing. Watch on the CW because they're the ratings that matter.
All right. Speaking of that, we have a super chat here from Alex Alexander. He says, do you think the CW will pick up season 2? I mean, most people are watching on the CW and they're marketing the show. It's got to deal with, it's connected to other stuff. Like they can't just, like the CW doesn't have much control over that is what I'm trying to say. They could maybe work out a deal where they air it season 2, but they're not, it's not, I mean, what do you think here? I don't think CW has much say-so in whether or not the show gets a second season, right? It's
unless really DC Universe folds and HBO Max doesn't want to include it.
Right. That would be the only reason.
Which is a big possibility.
Yeah. I can tell you this, that the quality of Stargirl would drop dramatically if it had to air on the CW's budget.
I actually disagree with you there.
What do you think? So do you think
the only thing that I can see dropping in quality, because you got to remember this season is really heavily focused on like the legacy of the JSA and the Injustice Society, which I personally can't see being a ridiculous factor next season in regards to someone like Icicle, who's very like VFX heavy and stuff like that. The biggest thing going into next season, if the CW adopted the show, would be Stripe. That'd be the biggest issue.
Yeah.
Both in regards to the physical. Siri, why are you listening? What did I say? Stripe? Is that Siri? Oh, did I say?
I don't know.
God. Anyway, Stripe is probably the biggest and only issue, I think.
Yeah.
You could argue the Cosmic Staff, but the Cosmic Staff, they did it like weird. Like, I think they said like 90% of the time you see the Cosmic Staff on screen, it's not even the actual Cosmic Staff. It's like a little light rod. And they made all these props, and I was like, really? Like, the only thing I can think of is that the actual Cosmic Staff that they make is fragile, so they don't want to use it too much except for close-ups. But you could easily add like VFX to that. I think the CW would easily be able to do that.
They could do something like it's been upgraded, and so it changes or something like that, so it doesn't look the same. I don't know.
Even then, like it's season by season with certain shows and stuff like that. Like visual effects things change. But
I do think the visual effects would be different on the CW than they are on.
Well, it isn't like they use both shows actually. Well, Stargirl and Legends and Flash. I don't know if Supergirl's here. Use Zoic Studios, which is like a what would you call it? Like a 3D thing, like I guess it's like VFX. What would you call it? It's like animation, like 3D animation they use. So that would be like VFX and various things like that, or at least modeling for like someone like Stripe,
right?
So they already use like similar things like that, and it's based in it's filmed in Atlanta, where Black Lightning films.
You would see a lot more nighttime shots for special effects. So,
100%. I don't even think it's. I think the biggest issue would be Stripe. That's the big thing.
Absolutely, because that's sort of like Gorilla Grodd or King Shark in terms of like every single week.
Yeah, because the thing is like I don't know how much they invested in regards to paying the actors as well, but I think when you cut out some of the Injustice Society, then it cuts down the price anyway. So, and also not all of them are known actors.
Yeah,
like I think Neil Jackson, who plays
Luke Wilson, would probably be, and Amy Smart would be the most expensive people to keep on the show.
Yeah, but I think in regards to the Injustice Society, who would be there anyway, I think like Neil Jackson is like the best known because he was in James Bond movie.
Yeah,
I think he's been like some big movies and stuff like, and I think that's probably why he's playing Icicle. Like,
so fun crossover is the actor who plays Brainwave was also a villain on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. last season.
Apparently, he's Australian. People were saying he's Australian. And
oh, really? He played a Chronicom last season on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So. Fun little crossover there. Tom here with the $2 super chat. Can Positive World be a series at the end of your streams? I don't know. A certain person that set me off is not here tonight, so we'll see how that goes. But thank you for the super chat. Let's see.
Are we going to address the Grace Randolph comments?
I didn't see the ones that you were talking about. I saw one, but that's it. I don't know. If I can find them, we'll talk about them. Tom with the $2 super chat. Do we even need DCU anymore? Supergirl's on CW. What is it? What is DP on HBO?
Doom Patrol
on HBO. I think the DC Universe app is going to have to be restructured for sure. I don't know what they're going to do though. Anthony Beltry with the 199 super chat. Thoughts on Mark Guggenheim doing Jackpot on Spider-Man? So Jackpot is a character that I don't think who wants Jackpot. Who wants that character? Do you know the story of that character?
No.
So Jackpot it was two different people, as far as I can remember. It's been a long time since I read the story. But they made it seem like Jackpot was MJ, right? A superhero MJ with like, I believe, super strength and maybe some invulnerability or whatever. Because she even had catchphrases like MJ, like she called him like Tiger and all this other stuff. And so they started out with that, and then there was another version of her that came out later that she didn't have any powers, I don't think, at that point. Either way, but the whole story was like she was abused, and there was all this other stuff going on in the background, and she had this like horrible life and stuff. Like it's a story that's just completely unnecessary, I think, for a movie. I don't know why you would make this a movie. It is one of the most depressing superhero stories ever. And I don't know if Mark Guggenheim had anything to do with the creation of that character, but I don't think it's going to be a great movie. That's just my personal opinion on that. Look up Jackpot. There's tons of info. Reverse says, what JSA members do we think are still alive? I don't think any of them, right? Maybe Our Man, but we didn't. He didn't say what happened to Our Man, right?
Our Man died in a car crash.
Oh, okay, that's right. I couldn't think of anyone else.
Well, a quote unquote car crash.
Yeah. So I don't think anyone else. So I don't think we're going to see.
Well, it matters because Wildcat in the comics has 9 lives, but I think they might have taken that out of the show.
Yeah.
Because that was done after his original origin.
Yeah.
Technically, the Hawks and Dr. Fate should eventually be alive.
Yeah.
Because the Hawks will reincarnate and Dr. Fate's immortal.
There's actually people who are upset that those characters are quote unquote not on the show right now.
I don't know why people are freaking out about it because the show isn't about them.
Right.
It's not. It's about Legacy and Stargirl. So people like freaking out, like, oh, well, I thought Jay Garrick was going to be on the show and be a main part.
X9000. She's a lead on another show right now, right? The Burn Notice, I think. Is that it? No, not Burn
Burden
Notice.
of Truth or something.
Burden of Truth. I knew it was a B name or whatever. Yeah, I think she's like the lead on that show. So I don't think she's ever gonna. Well, I don't think she'd have a reason to come back to the Arrowverse right now. So, as far as like Alan Scott, Dr. Fate, those characters, we don't know.
Well, won't spoil end of episode 3.
Yes. I don't want to see. That's the thing, is I'm trying not to like
next week. Well, after next week airs, we can literally talk about everything because that's where we were able to watch up to.
Yeah. So we'll be able to share that with you. Where is the stuff from Grace Randolph that what was the triggering thing that you
something about Grace Randolph and beef?
Somebody was beefing with her on Twitter or something. Is that what we're talking about?
I personally I know a lot of people have an issue. I don't really personally have an issue with her. I've never had any sort of interaction with her. The thing I really hate that she does right now with the Snyder Cut, she's like was always back and forth with the Snyder Cut. There's people saying like she's always been back and forth, but the one thing I really hate is that she's like she does a lot of slanderous things. She'll definitely slander a lot of people's names. I'm like, why? What do you get out of that? Like all the hate that she's spreading to Jeff Johns because she's quote unquote heard that he kicked Zack Snyder off the thing when no one else has said that. It's all the conspiracy theorists, and then for some reason she's saying it.
Right.
Why would, if Jeff Johns ruined Justice League and ruined the DCU, why was he given almost $100 million to make a TV show?
Well, yeah.
Hello, anyone?
I can remember her. I remember seeing a lot of people going after people connected to Jeff Johns and other people connected to the original Justice League.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things that kind of bugged me last week was I'm thinking like you got the movie you wanted, or you're getting the movie you wanted. This should be a day for you to be happy about that. But you spend your day going after people like with, this
no need.
This vengeance arc after people who were connected to something that happened, however X amount of time ago.
3 years ago, whatever it was.
And to go further into this, so one of the things I also noticed was, and let's talk about the Ayer cut, that whole movement or whatnot. So,
hold on.
Yeah, go ahead.
What are you saying with spitballing? Because slandering people off rumors is, I'd honestly call you a pretty shit person if you were doing that. That's like me like dragging Eric's name through the mud because I heard he called me, I don't know, a poo head or something like that. I'm like, well, hold on.
I may have said that. So
and then someone could go, hold on, is there any actual proof of this? Is there some written document of dictation or something of Eric saying Paige is a poo head? Or is there any sort of audio recording of this happening? You know what I mean? Like nothing. So that's the thing. As I said, I've never really had any issue with Grace, but that's the thing. I'm like, hold on. You can't do that.
Yeah, and this is not specific to Grace from me. I think anybody that goes after people in that way, after you've already got the W, he doesn't really care. You know what I mean? I would think that, I don't think these people associated with films like this, unless you're the director or you're somebody who has suffered from that, I don't think you're sitting around being concerned about whether or not people like you or don't like you. I think it's just kind of stupid, honestly.
Yeah.
But that's just me. I wouldn't spend my time doing that. I would never @ or hashtag an actor or director if I was so closely connected to what they're doing for a living. That's just me. But this is, again, not directed specifically towards her because I've seen a lot of people doing it.
Yeah, it's like the only reason Grace is brought up is because people were talking about it in the chat. Because this goes along with a lot of people. Yeah. But the one thing, as I said, the only thing I've had any sort of issue with her, apart from when that happened, because I was watching that, I was like, surely you can't be serious because you had like Grace. I think everyone knows this as well, and I don't think it's necessarily her fault because I don't think she actually does anything to bring it upon. It's not like some other people who would do stuff. It's not like Grace is flaunting cleavage or anything like that to bring in the you-know-whos. No need to name. She's not doing that. So it's the other people that are drawn to her. It's not Grace trying to draw them to her, if that makes sense. So, but the issue is that she'll say something and people will take that and then they'll spread it and then it becomes this big rumor and everything like that. And you shouldn't do that in any way, shape, or form.
Well,
if it's about,
yeah, I agree.
especially when it's something where it's like, it's something like, oh, Jeff Johns forced Zack Snyder to be kicked off his movie just after the personal tragedy that happened to him. It's like, seriously? You can't do that. But what the hell's that? Oh, okay, don't worry. There was something else going on.
I'm trying to let you get your thoughts out because I feel like you're getting to.
No, you take on because I've lost my train of thought because there was stuff going on in the comments.
Basically,
but I think I got my point across.
So I've said this about a lot of things. Candace Patton, when I get criticized for that, anyone when it comes to an actor and actress or somebody involved with the project, I never, and I don't even think I've ever done it. If I did, it was years ago. I don't think I've ever directly gone after a person involved with these shows in a negative way when something that I like happens. I don't see what kind of sense that makes. Yeah. Like, for example, so to put this in perspective, I didn't like what Todd Helbing did with The Flash season 5, but I really enjoy what Eric Wallace did with The Flash season 6 in terms of like tonnage and stuff like that. I'm not going to go back on Twitter and be like, oh, Todd Helbing, how does it feel now? Because we've got a good showrunner and you're crap or whatever. I don't think that helps anybody. And I think it reflects poorly on the community.
Obviously, some people do that. Like people did it with Guggenheim when Beth took over.
Yeah. I will.
But I still don't agree with that.
You can say that you're happy that someone's doing something you love without directly going after the person that you didn't like their work. So like if I were to say, I love what Eric Wallace is doing with The Flash, there we go. But I'm not on Twitter adding Todd Helbing saying you're crap, your show is crap or whatever. Like I can't get wrapped up in that. And I'm not saying that I'm not, again, you guys, because I want to be clear about this. I'm not singling out anybody. I'm talking in general because I've seen lots of people do it. So it's not about one specific person. All right, let's get back on track here with some of the comments. We got a super chat from Gary Gammon. Are they going to get the old Zari back? 199 super chat. Well, after tonight's episode, I think we may see her in the finale, but I don't know if she's going to be a permanent fixture on the show. We'll have to wait and see. But I was excited to see where they were going with that. And wait. I saw one that I wanted to answer here. Oh, Laura E. What happened to the Supergirl movie? So I think it's just being put on the back burner now. Honestly, I don't think it's a priority for them anymore because I'm thinking we may get a Man of Steel 2, and I'm okay with that. No offense, we have a Supergirl show. Give me a Man of Steel 2.
I think the issue with that is that it sort of relies on where is Superman in that universe. So if you don't have a proper placing of that, if that makes sense, it's sort of hard to do that because I think we can, unless Supergirl is this period piece that it was rumored to be, where apparently it was rumored to be in like the 80s or something like that, or early 90s, which I could see people saying is a copy in Captain Marvel, which I can 100%, especially if it's in the 90s. I think you might want to avoid that. I'd probably just try and make it in present day. And like, well, we are Venom when hashtag Man of Steel 2. I'd honestly introduce her in Man of Steel 2 as sort of like a subplot. But yeah, I don't think, and then spin off into her own movie, like introduce her in that and then spin off if you need to.
Staggervore with the 199 super chat. Could Selena Kyle appear in Batwoman? I don't see why not. I mean, she could. The problem is any character who is very intimately connected to Bruce Wayne and Batman, it's going to be really weird to have them appear without somehow connecting Bruce Wayne to the story. So I think we will see Bruce Wayne on the show first before we start seeing like very personal characters like that. But I think it could happen. Would you want to see Selena Kyle on Batwoman or?
I guess if she showed up, it'd be sort of cool, but it's not like I really care too much, to be completely honest. Like,
okay, so Gary Gambon with the 199 super chat.
I like it with that. I'd prefer if it was like someone that added to it. Like, I don't think bringing Catwoman into the show really adds too much, but like if you bring like a villain like the Riddler or Mad Hatter or something like that, I think that adds to the show. I don't think bringing Selena Kyle to the show really adds too much, to be completely honest. Maybe that's just me.
So Gary Gammon with the 199 super chat. Do you know DC Central? Is that a service or I don't know what that is. What is that? I'm sorry, Gary. I have no idea. If that's a person, then no, I don't know them.
I think it might be a train station in Washington, D.C.
So I don't know. Let's see here. Stu says, good day. Eric and Paige. How do you reckon the new Batwoman impacts the next season? So I think that they're creatively, I think they're okay with it. I think they're fine with having a new one because I think there's been a lot of talk about them being able to really like look for someone that fits the role. So what do you think?
Actually go through a proper audition process, because I think last time there really wasn't. Once Ruby got a sniff, that was it, I think.
Tom here with the $2 super chat. Grant blocked a Snowberry fan today for going at Candace. I mean, that's the thing. You can be a fan of something, but I understand if you want to. First, let me just say, I think Twitter blocking, if this is Instagram, it's a different thing. But Twitter blocking, Twitter blocking is useless. But anyway, I totally understand why he would do it. Not that I have an issue with people shipping Snowberry. I just think that, I think it's a little bit much. Let's see. Shaunik here. 499 super chat. Most Arrowverse shows have a big bad. Why didn't Batwoman, or had they not gotten there yet? So I think they may have been setting up something for the last couple episodes that we just didn't get a chance to see.
I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was Hush as Bruce Wayne.
Yeah,
and he messes with Kate and the team. Pretty sure that's what it was. And then it's a big cliffhanger. It's important to remember, a season doesn't have to have a big bad. You can just have an antagonist that runs through.
Yeah.
That's an important thing to remember. As long as the team goes through a story. I don't even think you necessarily need a big bad too much in an opening season.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if they're carrying it. Obviously, it helps when it does. But from what it sounded like, Hush, I guess if you wanted to name a big bad, was the big bad, but he ran through into season 2.
All right, we're going to take a couple more questions, and we're already coming up on the 1 hour and 15-minute mark. I guess we'll give our final thoughts on Stargirl in a second, but I do want to answer this one. Weather Girl Flash fan, do you think the actress who plays Evil on The Flash is good? I mean, I don't think she was the best, but
she hasn't had much range though. It's just been like
frantic and kind of all over the place is her character.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
She hasn't been like. Really, the only time she was I guess that villain, sort of evil, smart, cocky thing was talking to Carver, but I can't remember that. Went by a bit quick, and you're more focusing on, is Carver going to die here?
Yeah.
So I think you have to wait till next season, really.
Yeah. Gary Gammon, 199, a YouTuber, DC Central. I'm not familiar with that person. Thank you for the super chat. I'll check them out at some point, but yeah, I'm not familiar with them. Thank you for mentioning them, though. Tom here with a $2 super chat. Oh, Paigey, when's your Flash season ranking in Hunger Games? Do you have any date for that?
Oh, I think I'm going to do Flash season ranking video soon, and people are going to be triggered.
I know they are because of season 6 versus some other seasons.
I think it's more where season 3 is going to be. Because people love season 3. I'm not even going to get into that argument because
I love the first half of season 3.
First half of season 3 is following from season 2, good quality, and then actually, it's not even the first half. It's really that final third just goes. You know what? Remember how we're going really good? Let's throw that in the bin. Just pull out this.
Do you think it happened before or after they revealed that Barry was Savitar? When do you think it started going off the rails?
Oh, when Savitar gets properly out of the Speed Force and they just completely just ignore Wally's time in there, and they deal with. I'm going to go in that video because people are going to go, why do you think season 3 is not good? And I'm I'll explain it to you, because the first 2/3 are good. There's some little areas, but first half's good. You get little teasers to Savitar. Dr. Alchemy's good. That whole just the Flashpoint follow on and everything like that. I thought that was really good. Wally gets a good arc and how he gets his powers and everything like that. Jesse Quick comes back into it as well. Man, I wish they continued it, because I think season 3 could have been up there with season 2 and 1.
They even that Jesse had a big role to play, and that never happened. It's just
technically her big role was that she encountered Savitar and that she was going to die, but then didn't die because they. Anyway, I didn't even know what happened. It's almost as if like whoever was writing the first 2/3 just decided to go, oh, a building, let me jump off, and then someone else just on the street found the script and just wrote the rest.
Yeah.
And that person, well, they watched those channels. Like Bat Warman was in the script a couple times. I edited it out. Yeah.
Oh, we have to ask something about that too. Gosh, we got to get through these here. Steiger449 super chat. If they go with the non-speedster as a big bad in the Flash next season, they could probably use Bashir Psych. I think we're going to get some sort of a speedster bad guy storyline next season because we've had a couple of seasons now where they haven't done it, and I think it's time for them to actually.
Yeah, and Reverse Flash in season 5 doesn't count.
Yeah.
So people saying he was the big bad.
Let's see. Victor D. Chinchilla with the 1-9 super chat. Any idea who Godspeed is working with? No. I mean, it's either a future version of Black Hole. It's Godspeed from somewhere else sending out clones. I mean, this is one of the big mysteries, and I feel like this is like season 6 ended with so many unanswered questions. So we're just gonna have to wait and see. Any thoughts from you on that one, or?
Well, they don't really give any hints out of saying like where you want your speed, but he could have just been talking about more Godspeed clones. Like, yeah, who knows?
Gary Gammon, 1-9 super chat. Good night, Eric and Paige. Good night, Gary. Thank you for stopping in. Thank you for the super chats. All right, so I want to talk about this with Stargirl before we go. So, and I'm hoping that they're joking. I'm seriously hoping they're joking because I can't find too much else about it except in my video. So, and people in the chat, listen, you guys, I need your opinions on this. I'm really curious. So people are saying that Stargirl is SJW woke now. And I'm trying to figure out why it is, because
Eric, it's because she's a female. That's why it's, as soon as you're
I don't understand.
Haven't you heard, Eric? If you have a vagina, you're woke.
Is it because she's a strong character and that's why? I don't understand. Like,
I think I've seen some other things like saying like Courtney's like irrational and like running into all this thing. I'm like, you do realize she's 15 years old,
right? This is so Courtney acts like Nora was acting on the Flash, except Nora was double her age. Like, that's why I think Nora was supposed to be the age of Courtney. I think
Nora was meant to be,
yeah.
But for some reason, Eric Todd was like, well, I'll hire my friend Jessica Parker Kennedy because couldn't they just hire an 18-year-old? I don't know. Anyway.
So I totally get it if you don't like the way Courtney is portrayed because it is quite out there. But I think they're just establishing that she is a strong character. And the only time, oddly enough, the only time I ever hear that a character is woke, or when I hear characters woke in terms of like a TV show, it's almost always a female character.
Or they're gay.
Right. Or both.
One of the two.
Or both. It can be both.
They get
When did it become common, and this is probably controversial to get into right here at the end of the stream, when did it become so common for a strong female character to be considered controversial? Because we've had them for a very long time. But all of a sudden now, anytime there's a female lead that shows any ounce of like ego or cockiness or even just being sure of themselves, they all of a sudden it becomes like this bad thing. And I'm like, she's not doing anything any different than any character in her position would have done on any other show. Yeah. As far as her beating the bad guy so easily, hello, has anybody watched stuff like Stranger Things with a bunch of kids fighting creatures and bad guys? Like, that's the nature of these shows. Like, they're designed so that the heroes, the underdogs, manage to win. That's the whole point. That is the whole point of these shows. You have characters like Supergirl, The Flash. If you notice, whenever they beat a bad guy or a big bad, it's always overcoming some struggle. It's never just you beat them so bad that you have time to go out and have a latte afterwards or something.
Yeah,
like
it's also people acting as if like, oh, they just went in and flicked their finger and the villain like died or something like that. With Stargirl, she was getting beaten, she was getting tortured, and it was lucky that Pat, a male, decided to high beam. Mm-hmm. Well, I call it a high beam because I guess it's just made out of cars. So he high beams brainwave, which takes him off, and Courtney's able to grab the staff. If it wasn't for Pat, a male,
maybe this is controversial.
She dies.
Having a strong female character is not SJW. It's not woke.
Yeah.
It's just the character of the show.
Yeah.
That's it. And I don't understand like why this happens or why it is an issue. Like, yes, there was cringy stuff with the advertising of Batwoman, and it deserved to be criticized for some of that advertising. Stargirl is totally not that. Totally not that. And the whole quirkiness of it, like at the end when he goes, I didn't think there was going to be another Starman, and she goes, Stargirl. Everybody was going off on that, and I'm like, that's because she's not Starman. She's Stargirl. Yeah. Like, she wasn't saying, like, are you serious? Are you serious? So, are you going to do an Arrow season 8 overview? I think I did one already, right? Didn't I do one?
Hopefully you'd remember.
Let me see. I'm pretty sure I did. Let me double check.
I think you did because I think I remember you going in about the spin-off and stuff like that.
Yes, I did a month ago. There it is. There it is. People are trying all these false equivalencies with me. I just can't with this topic anymore. I really can't. Everybody wants me to be mean and evil and down everybody for something they did 5 years ago. If it's not that big a deal to me, I'm not going to care. It's just that simple. But, you know, you guys do you. That's the way I'm going to put it. It is time for dad jokes because I'm done with all of this. And by the way, I thought Stargirl was really good. How many are we doing tonight?
I've got 2.
2? So we're doing 2 tonight?
Yeah.
All right. Who's going first?
You can go first.
Let me see. Oh no, that's too bad. I don't want to do that one. Oh, okay. This was probably gonna be easy. You're gonna get this one. Why does a blanket make a great friend?
I have no idea.
It always has you covered. Doo-doo.
Wow. Okay. Not too sure about that one, Eric. Probably give it a 2 out of 10. The boy goes to ask his dad, why are we pyromaniacs?
Okay.
And he goes, yes, we are, son.
That was really bad. That was really bad.
I think I worded it incorrectly, but anyway, it still works.
This is a good one. This is a good old school one. Why didn't the ghost go to the dance?
Say it again.
Why didn't the ghost go to the dance?
Because he had no body to go with, or whatever it is.
He had no body to dance with.
No body to dance with. Yeah, I think it was something like that.
I knew. I figured you'd get it. All right.
This is a good one. Might hit home to some. Okay, this will be interesting. The wife goes to her partner and says, I'm pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
The partner goes, hi, pregnant. I'm dad. The wife goes, no, you're not.
That was bad. Was that even a bad joke? That was just a bad joke. That was bad. We got 2 super chats quickly here. Tom with the $2 super chat. Please pause and review the Batwoman season 1 trailer. The season 1 trailer. I don't even remember the trailer well enough to do it.
It's just a pilot episode, sort of condensed, really.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Maybe I'll have to watch it. I don't know. Like, I feel like that would be sort of disingenuous, I guess. I mean, what would I say? Yay, girl power is so awesome. Am I supposed to sound like somebody that doesn't like it?
Yeah.
I'm not really sure. It would come off like weird. So, and taken out of context. So maybe next time. We'll see. Thank you for the super chat. But yeah, I don't know if that's going to work out. Latricia Dawson with the $4.99 super chat. Hi, do you think that Cisco had the right to get upset with Barry when he found out about Camilla? She doesn't have a substantial role in the show. That was a heated conversation that they had. I feel like both Carlos and Grant were very committed to that, and I thought it was a great scene. I don't know where to go with this one. I feel like it's a legitimate question, but I feel wrong for even like going in the direction I want to go with it. Because you're right, she doesn't really have much to do on the show. Like honestly,
yeah, Camilla's just like a non-entity. I'll tell you what, though. You know what's interesting? You know how we're still live streaming?
Mm-hmm.
Your thing got taken off my subscriptions page. It hasn't been on there for about 10 minutes.
Seriously?
Wait, yeah, YouTube's been like hashtag rip Eric. But you're still live streaming.
I got like a hit.
If I go to your channel, it's probably still there, but yeah, it says you're live streaming now. But if I go to my subscriptions page, you weren't there. You're still not there. Ooh, conspiracy time.
Well, no, it still shows everything is good. So I don't know. I have no idea. Any more super chats? Last minute, last 60 seconds for super chats.
We'll be gone in 60 seconds.
We're gonna be out. This conversation went in all kinds of directions that I didn't even think it was gonna go in. Hopefully next week won't be as controversial. We'll see what kind of news we have next week. Whatever happens. Thank you guys so much for coming by. I appreciate it. Both Paigey and my Stargirl review are up now. So if you want to go check that out, you can. So Latricia Dawson, 1-9 super chat. Give your honest opinion. I mean, I don't have too much of an honest opinion about it. Camilla is one of the, I think out of everybody, she's one of like the 3 characters this season that people have said didn't have much of anything. And I can't disagree with that. I mean, she didn't. And she was kind of a plot device and still a plot device because we're carrying over in the next season. So I really feel like I think Camilla was introduced for Carlos to leave the show. And so now she's stuck in that same kind of weird space that those characters that stay a little bit too long are stuck in. So that's what I think, if you want my honest opinion. I feel like she was introduced for a purpose, and that purpose has been, somewhat filled, and now she doesn't have much to do. So
sort of like, I feel the same about like Kelly Olsen on Supergirl. I feel like she was brought in to sort of tie into like James Olsen's like history, if you want to call it. And I don't even know what they're going to do with that character. Yeah. Oh, by the way, for those wondering, actually, why would anyone be wondering this? But just to tell you, because I felt like it. I finished Supergirl this season. I binge watched the last like a lot of episodes, actually, now that I think about it. I think it was about 7 episodes I had to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that happened. God. Honestly, it felt like nothing happened.
Yeah. Because
like Flash season 5.
Supergirl was saving everything for the end, I think.
Yeah.
And we have time to do it. So, Stargirl 1-9 super chat. We see Bart Allen in the future. Thank you for the super chat. But I wish I could just post this answer somewhere, like everywhere. They're not going to do Bart Allen. That's what Nora was. Nora's story was Bart Allen.
Yeah.
The story that Bart Allen would have filled has already happened, and they're not going to tell that story again.
If they brought him, it'd just be doing the same thing.
Yeah. So I would, as much as I think it would be fun to see Bart Allen, Todd Helbing chose to do Nora, and so he was trying to combine a bunch of stories together, and that's what happened. Oh gosh, I saw one name in this list before I even clicked this, and I knew it was going to be.
Oh God.
Okay, $5 super chat. Bring War Stew Emergency Awesome and the CEO of We Got This Covered on your stream, as well as Chainsaw and Candygraphs, have a 7-way crossover. That would be like a Zoom meeting, right? To have everybody together. I don't even know if this app supports that many people. I think
it does, but I don't think it'd work very well.
Yeah, it would be kind of crazy. First of all, I know at least 2 of those people would probably not do it. Canada
Graphs and Chainsaw wouldn't do it.
Yeah. Well, I've asked Canada Graphs to be on the show before. We just haven't had a chance to make it happen. And as far as Chainsaw goes, I reached out to him this past week and asked him if he was free for today, and he didn't get back to me. So I'm guessing he was busy.
Hashtag ghosted.
But we'll see. I don't know. I asked him if he wanted to do it, and I guess he's too busy, and that's fine. I get it. Thank you.
I think we're both blocked by War Stew.
Probably. I don't know. I have no idea. Canada Graph says it doesn't. Maximum of 5 people. So a 5-person crossover would be the only way. That's it, guys. Look, an hour and 40 minutes. I'm probably gonna have to go in and like chop this up a little bit because I think there's a lot of like extra stuff that we can. I'm not even gonna add to the bad words that we're gonna have to cut out of here. There's a lot of extra stuff we'll have to cut out. So anyway, I'm gonna try and see how this works out. Hopefully YouTube isn't too mad at me and I'll just be able to upload it as it is, but I don't know if that's gonna happen. We'll have to wait and see. Anyway, we're out of here. We're gonna chill out. People are fading on us, so we're gonna go. I'll be live next week with the after party, and look forward
to more drama.
More trauma alert. Yeah. So Agents of Shield premieres this week. Expect my review for that the day after it comes out because I'm really excited.
Oh, next week because Eric's slow.
I could be. Yeah. Stargirl reviews are up. My Legends review is up, so go check those out.
When's the chocking tutorial? Is that a members exclusive?
That's an exclusive. Oh, by the way, yeah, if you guys are interested, it's a good thing you mentioned that. I didn't even think about this. If you guys are still watching and you're interested and you're not part of Team Airrick, I'm going to be reviewing all of the DC animated movies, starting with all the animated universe movies, the ones on that list. And I started out with Flashpoint Paradox, and that is in the join button. So if you guys want to go and check those videos out, they're over there. But the first one went up like 2 days ago. So I'm curious to what everybody thinks. Tom, $2 super chat. Got into a heated argument with Supercore people. I'm not doing this. I'm like, you guys, it's an hour and 45 minutes already. I get it. Thank you for the super chat. I'm not going to dive into like the shipping arguments and stuff. I know how it goes. I've been there before. It is not a fun place. So we're not going to do that. But I appreciate that you fought the good fight.
The only thing I'll say about that is I saw people saying, oh, writers, Twitter wants it, so give it to us. And Tumblr wants it. You know what the last ship that happened when people wanted that? Olicity. End the stream.
Yeah. We're out. See you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.